Hello Pisces, welcome to your reading for the month. I wanted to say the month of February. It's October. Okay. I'm a Pisces moon. I don't know, maybe something beautiful is going to happen in our season next year. Of course it will. It always does. Pisces, let's see what's happening for you in the month of October. This is my apprentice Salem. He'll be helping me shuffle the cards today. What's the main theme for Pisces in the month of October? Pisces. The Knight of Cups. Maybe there's a little bit of time traveling, a little bit of adaptability, some morphing of some kind, becoming something else. Knight of Cups really is symbolized by the tides coming and going. So there's always a turnover with this card, and there's an awareness of transformation. Feelings come and go. The water comes and goes, and it's very intense one day, and then it kind of goes away, or it softens the next. So there's quite a few things coming through with this card, but it's important for October to acknowledge your changing nature and that it's okay to change. Things change over time. Feelings change. I really see kindness. I feel like there's a really good friend or a really good coworker, someone who wants to brighten your day, or there's like a collective effort to celebrate something, a collective effort to take care of one another, being in service to one another, like the coworker who brings the freshly baked cookies to the office. I'm seeing a really beautifully strong and caring group of people who show up if you need them. Community is there to support you. You could be very much the Knight of Cups of absolutely showing up in support of someone else, bringing something to, brighten their day, but also enjoying the gifts that come to you. So it seems to be a month of abundance and a month of good intentions. If some of you are wondering about love, yes, the Knight of Cups can bring love interest into your life, but just like we've said, feelings can change over time because this person is afraid. They're very sensitive and they might be afraid of commitment. So there's a little bit of a enjoying the moment, so to speak, and this laissez-faire attitude toward life this month that is very accepting. I accept that things come and go. I accept that things change. It can be challenging sometimes to do that, but because you are mutable water, I feel like you're more understanding than others. That being said, I'm being asked to ask you to be mindful of where you do sort of bend and change shape for others. Like, don't sacrifice your values. Don't compromise who you really are while you are getting to know someone. I feel this month is very inspired. It's very creative, and you could be really going on a journey of some kind to... I'm not sure what you're doing. That's not coming through, and it doesn't have to. What's coming through is that you might get caught up in a feeling and get swept away with something that becomes a bit overwhelming or confusing. So I want to say that if something is not your normal responsibility, don't take initiative and try to solve it, because it could actually become confusing. Like, you might just not have the right tools or the right access or the right insider knowledge to actually make something happen. It's like the boss is gone for the week and a problem comes up. And I'm sorry that I'm making this all about work. We're going to cover a few areas in life in this reading, but as a preliminary message, it's a main theme for October. So for example, the boss is gone for the week and you're like, okay, a problem's come up. Should I take initiative and try to solve it? Just a little bit of a warning that if you might get in over your head, you might be in over your head, or someone feels like they're in over their head. So I would say expect, it's good to have good intentions, but again, don't get too caught up on expectations or trying to solve something that you really don't know how to solve. Because you might find that you waste time. Sometimes the Knight of Cups wastes a little bit of time because he kind of gets caught up in the transformation process. Like, because I can become anything, I kind of want to slip into this for the day or the week. And then it gets a bit, kind of throws you off course. You're rolling with a feeling. You're getting into some, like a vision that you have for music you want to write or something you want to create. And that dreaming space, that creative space is so important. So it's going to be up to you if you leave this month as pure inspiration, open, then absolutely go with the Knight of Cups. But if there is something that needs to be done, like deadlines or whatever it is, then I would say don't let yourself, or just be mindful that you might be letting yourself get caught up in a little bit of distraction. But sometimes we have to do that, especially when you have Pisces in your chart. Like for me as a Pisces moon, if I don't have those weird moments, and I feel like I have one every single day, especially in the evenings, I get this like burst of inspiration and I have to like act it out or live it out. And it does inform, like maybe I do write a song about it, or it does inform how I'm going to approach something tomorrow in my schoolwork or whatever. So yeah, having those moments, but again, there's also some discipline applied to it. And I just remembered as well that Saturn's gone back into Pisces this month, hasn't it? So Saturn there is like, oh, it's a tough one, isn't it? It's been a hard few years for Pisces. Limitations, reality checks. They say that Saturn could help the like Capricorn and Pisces work together, but I don't know. I feel like, okay, that being said, yes, where do you bend constantly for someone else? Just being mindful of your adaptability. That's all. It's quite a mysterious strength, isn't it? Because you're like, I can adapt and become anything. And it actually doesn't bother me. So, interesting. A little bit of a mystery. All right, let's see what's blocking you. If there's any challenges or obstacles this month. We have the 9 of Wands. So the struggle is overcoming the past. Something is fresh and it still hurts. It's still on your mind. It's unforgettable. It has shaped you somehow. It seems to be part of who you are. But this is Chiron energy, isn't it? It's about letting that wound become your strength. Gaining the wisdom from that experience so that you can share with others how you overcame it. Your story could be very inspiring, but there's a block where you're afraid of sharing, you're afraid of opening up, or you're afraid to reach out to somebody. It just feels like you're so, I don't know, you're hesitant, you're afraid of someone. I don't know if there's maybe someone coming back from the past. What I will say is that there's someone from the past who you maybe have had a quarrel with, or a misunderstanding, or maybe a breakup, and it's like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do when I see them in person. And then suddenly you see them in person and you're both kind of like, waiting for the other person or seeing how the other person's going to act. And so that's important because it says that both people are kind of waiting for the other one to make the first move. Be mindful of your defensiveness this month. Is your wound causing you to be extra kind to other people because you're afraid that if you don't constantly bend to their whims and their will, that they'll abandon you, that they'll hurt you, they'll discredit you? Your wound is an obstacle this month because it makes you Like, where do you rush to apologize? Where do you rush to solve things? Because you just want the conflict to go away. It's like, I don't understand why this has to be this way. Can't we just talk it out or work it out? Can't we just come together and make it better? But not everybody has that open heart the way you do. And sometimes people like to hold on to their pain because either they think that's what makes them strong, or it gives them a reason to act a certain way, or to cut people out of their life. So you might find too that your wound is triggering another person's wound. But yes, being on the defense is an obstacle. How you interpret a person's words or a person's body language when they aren't thinking anything of it at all, because they don't have the same wound that you do and they're just chilling, but they are kind of, I don't know, there's something about somebody's body language and you're like on alert. You're like very sensitive to those changes because you probably grew up in an emotionally combustive environment, or you've had that in your relationships before. And so, and also being water, being a Pisces, you can sense the atmosphere. You know, that's your survival instinct. We all have it, but you're extra sensitive to it. And that seems to really be like your alarms be tripping this month is what I feel. I don't know, I kind of feel like somebody wants to come toward you. With this person, it feels like you don't trust them, because as much as we've talked about the Piscean, mutable water, changing nature, I don't think this person actually is like open emotionally the same way. They do it more from a place of maybe manipulation. And I don't know, do they mean to do that? Do they consciously mean to do that? Or do they also have that wound that makes them act that way? You know, we all have wounds, but they make us act and react in different ways. And sometimes we don't know what that is until we're in a relationship or a circumstance with a customer, with a lover, with anything, ourselves sometimes. And we don't know what that wound is until we're triggering it in one another. And then it really takes some serious effort to understand and work past it and heal. So are we able to identify what that wound is? For you this month, it does feel like it's, again, defending yourself. You're just used to being blamed. I'm hearing you're used to kind of being like, yeah, the one that's blamed or the one that's on the outside. And so what I think is beautiful is just energetically this Knight of Cups exists, and it's bringing you kindness. Like there is an offering from the universe, and probably definitely from people around you that are showing up to help you. I want to say too, Pisces, that if you do need help, please ask your community, please ask your friends, ask your online friends who you don't think you're close to. Put it out there, because I guarantee you the Knight of Cups wants to show up and help you, okay? So what helps you this month? What's your greatest strength? What is going to help you this month? Your greatest asset, Pisces. Severing ties. Goodbye. The Queen of Swords and the Five of Cups could not be clearer. We need to clean up this mess. I'm tired of feeling this way. I'm tired of, looking back over the past all the time, or being blamed for all these things, or, Maybe you're like looking back at patterns and just, hey, this happened once. Oh, that happened too. Oh my gosh, I forgot about this. And you kind of realize how these things have stacked up or added up. Queen of Swords says goodbye. You've got to get something out of your life. Create some breathing room for yourself. She is letting things go. It feels like your living environment mirrors how, absolutely it does. Your living environment mirrors how you feel on the inside and vice versa. So you might also want to clean up some clutter. There could just be things lying around that like remind you of an ex or something broken or like cobwebs that you haven't been able to get to. And the Queen of Swords is clearing that all out. Like there's a massive purge happening for you this month. And Saturn has gone back into your sign once and for all, one final time to give you this chance to finally be done with something. This is your strength this month. This is your asset. I also want to say that the Queen of Swords, she's a clear communicator. So being clear with your communication is a strength, but also sensing when a certain person always brings this atmosphere. Like there's just that one person that always feels like they bring a thunderstorm with them. Like it's just, it gets heavy in the room. Like someone really brings an atmosphere and you can sense that. So your strength is sensing this and recognizing that's a bad influence for me because they're not uplifting and positive the way that I need, or they're not inspiring, or they just bring misery. I don't know, this kind of feels like something that can't be solved, and it almost feels like your greatest strength is to just get rid of it. Because if you don't talk about this, it's going to continue to weigh on you. It's like energetically just something sitting with you. And the stain gets worse and worse and worse the longer it sits. There's energy attached to stuff. And so you either need to completely cleanse it or get rid of it altogether. I don't know. To me, this feels like getting rid of clutter. Clearing out the cupboards, clearing out the little corners, right? It's fall where I live, so I know people like to do spring cleaning, but I find it better in the fall to like declutter the house, let's say, or, go through the closet one more time. What haven't I worn in the last 2 years? What could, give it to a better home type thing. I just think you're ready to clear the air, clear the space, clear the clutter. Something has felt overwhelming up to this point, and I understand, because at that point it's like easier to just kind of, like you're sitting in it, but you're also pretending it's not there, but it's weighing on you and it's affecting you subconsciously too. So if you can just get rid of it, clean something, refresh something, fresh air, let's freshen this up. Let's clear this out once and for all. I'm never going to use that. I haven't used that in 3 years. Like, let's be real. You know what I mean? Like, just a bit of a reality check with that Queen of Swords as well. And I feel like, too, this person, if they're the one who's approaching you with, like, love bombing, right? That cycle where it's like they've hurt you and then they come back with I'll change, I promise, that Knight of Cups. In that case, you're the Queen of Swords and you're just like, they try to hand you the cup and you're like, no. And you throw it on the ground. No, I do not accept your cup. I don't think you're accepting the cup. I think it's scary. It's fucking scary, but you're not accepting the cup. You're used to accepting the cup, and this person is used to you accepting the cup. But this is Saturn at work. You're learning that lesson. You are incorporating that lesson. Pisces. Let's look at career and money, and then we're going to look at love. So what's happening for you with career and money this month? Okay, I just heard another message for someone out there, and I hope that you're still listening. Some of you may be going through grief, and the Queen of Swords represents that point, like where you start wearing purple. You know, you're in half mourning, let's say, where you can start to talk about it. You can start to talk about your feelings, talk about how something affected you, because you're not in the middle of it anymore. Like, you had to just feel it, and you had to just let the waves come over you. But for a lot of you, I feel like you're at a point where you can, you know, your strength is to just talk about it, finally write about it, publish the article, the blog, whatever. Just you're ready to talk about it. Career and money. Okay, we've got the Hanged Man and the Two of Pentacles. So it's confusing, it's challenging. I think a lot of you would do better to balance like two things or multiple things instead of showing up to the same place every day, 5 days a week, 8 or 9 hours a day, same thing day in, day out. I feel like you want a little bit of change in your, you want some flexibility in your schedule. So quite literally juggling two things doesn't have to be forever. Those two pentacles can absolutely synthesize into one gold pentacle in the future. But it feels like not right now with that Hanged Man. And maybe this is an opportunity for you to fall back on your second option. Like maybe you've got these two jobs going, these two pentacles going, and one is kind of, it's not doing so well, it's not really providing, or it's not bringing results. So I'm going to rely on my other thing and just like let that other thing be, right? You've got something else to fall back on, I feel. This month seems to require a bit of flexibility too. Like maybe the wheels are just too loose, and so you have to kind of step off the gas and take a look at what's causing this inconsistency I'm hearing. There's maybe some inconsistency with career and money or business. And so bringing more consistency will bring results that you want. So again, how do we tighten that up? How do we tighten those wheels on the axis or on the axle so that they don't fly off, they stay, keep us moving forward? Hanged Man. There will be some, I don't know if disappointments is the right word, but just feeling like something's out of your control. I do feel like some of you, one person out there might really be in sorrow this month. I feel like you might be in sorrow this month, and that really sends you reeling. It's difficult to, focus. And so I hope that you're able to take that time that you need to just get the affairs in order. For someone else, I feel like there could be an absence. Somebody doesn't show up, or they stop coming in, or they don't take care of their responsibilities. And so you kind of take it on. There's an absence. There's a noticeable absence. And so this does affect you. There's that Knight of Cups again. In the good way. I'll help. I'm available. I would love to show up and help with this. Absolutely. The moon was in Pisces when I got my little puppet. I don't know. I don't know if you need a little bit of whimsy in your day. Just to bring a little bit of joy, a bit of silliness. I don't know. Career and money, you look very flexible. Maybe some of you, it is actual physical flexibility. Teaching courses, maybe you're training, maybe you're performing. Pisces does so well in the performing arts, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that too. But there's kind of a change of perspective on how things have been going, and I think this forced break really makes you, like, inevitably, you will be focusing on one thing over another. Okay, let's look at love. I'm seeing the Sun card. I am seeing a white horse. Ooh. The white horse is anthropomorphic. Temperance. Okay, love is... That's interesting. Love is coming from your higher self. It's like, what would my 10-year-old self say about this? What advice would my 10-year-old self give me? Or where do I want to be this time next month? What do I want to carry with me into next year? What do I not? Temperance is interesting because it really tells me that you're working on things together. You're reaching a level of peace. Cooperating. Now, temperance sometimes says we work better in a flow with someone else. Like when there's someone else in the room, it helps keep us flowing. You know, we're the fish, we're the school of fish. So we like to go with literally the flow. We flow with the flow. And so that can almost be a catch-22 sometimes, because maybe you're, like everything we've talked about so far, maybe you're so used to having this other person around, or you're so used to the usual pattern that you just kind of slip right back in. But there are some people out there who are mature enough to really, truly, let's work on this together. I'm going to look at this from your perspective. You're going to look at it from mine. We will be equally represented in the conversation, in the discussion, in the deliberation, the mediation. Mediation could be helpful. An objective third party who sees the needs that both parties have and can suggest resolutions, can see what's needed. But yes, connect with your higher self. It feels like, given everything else that we've talked about as well, if a lot of you are making these difficult life changes, temperance and love means that you're going to find gold. You will find gold, because that's what the alchemist does. Takes these raw materials, puts them together, gives it a little bit of time, and then strikes gold or makes gold. So you will have the best of the best. But what are the raw materials you're working with? Temperance is going lightly, going softly, everything in moderation, little bit by little bit. So maybe we do want to work on this. Maybe there is a lot of strength here, but it's going to take time. And so just a little bit every day or a little bit every week, you start to make these changes to reintroduce intimacy. Have a date night every week where you leave the house together and you spend time and you go on adventures or whatever it is. But it really is changes happening over time. Evolution takes time. Growing these wings takes time. So do you continue with the person that you're with? If you don't, gold waits for you. And I would also ask that for those of you who don't want to leave, what is the gold that you see in this other person? What do you love about them? Why do you stay? There's a lot of maneuvering this month, but love is strong. You're able to work with what's left, these 2 cups. Remember, this was your greatest strength. These 2 cups that are left over, you are able to work with those. So don't worry about what's been lost, because something still remains. And that's what you can work with, and that is what will get you the gold. So Pisces, that's been your reading for the month of October. If you want a personal reading with me, my information is in the description box. Basically, you're just going to look for my email address in the description box, shoot me an email, and let me know your focus points and your questions. And the readings are just $50 Canadian. I will send you my link for payment. Typically 2 to 3 week wait, so I'll have all the readings out by the end of October. Depending on receipt of payment, of course, but that's my current wait list. Thank you everyone for being here, and I hope this has been helpful. I'm wishing you a beautiful, blessed month ahead. Stay strong, stay true to yourself, and know your worth. Okay? Bye.